So it's day 726 of what, you ask? Well, let me tell you. So it's day 726 of retirement. That's right, almost 2 years I've been retired now. And so I thought I'd go for a walk, talk a little bit, reflect about those 2 years. I was kind of hoping the sun would come out a little bit more today, but it's still a pretty nice day to be out here and to not be working. I can say that 2 years of retirement have been pretty good for me. I've enjoyed it. I've entertained going back to work a couple times, but not seriously. Been flattered that people have asked me to come back to work in different places and make me offers, but the answer is still no for now. Just took a little tumble there. That's part of life. So I was about to just say that in retirement, one of the things I've been trying to watch out for is that I'm not just killing time. You know, I see that with some of the folks that retire that seem to have trouble figuring out what to do. And I'm like, how can you have trouble figuring out what to do? And I get sad because it's like, are they just killing time until they die? But then I got convicted that there are times when I do that. You know, not that I'm thinking about just waiting until I die, but I'm not thinking about the time and what I'm using it for, right? And so there are days where I'm not as excited about getting out and hiking necessarily. And I don't know what it is, but it just comes up from time to time. And so I started thinking about, how do I guard against that? You know, so different things have come up along those lines. One of it is I'm telling you also now that those of you that know me can keep me honest about making sure I still keep doing things and I'm not just killing time until I die. One of the other things I guess keeps me honest is volunteer work. Now some of you know that the one group I was volunteering with, they've kind of been closed since September, so the Endicott History and Heritage Center, which is a real bummer for a lot of reasons. But some of the other volunteer groups really help, and so that's something I really encourage people that are looking at retirement and are unsure of what to do with their time. Think about volunteer work. And so some of you know that kind of a fan of Jocko Willink, the ex-Navy SEAL. And one of his early books was Discipline Equals Freedom. And it's this idea of, you know, being disciplined. And the more disciplined you are, actually the freer you end up being because your life gets better. Anyway, it's this thing about getting up at dark 30 every day. And people often ask him, you know, Jocko, how do you do that? You know, how do you convince yourself to do that? What do you tell yourself in the morning to get up? And his response is often, well, I don't have a conversation with myself. I just get up. I've already decided that it's up. It's not up for negotiation. One of the things that has changed over those 2 years is when I first started, well, one, I couldn't hike as far or without breathing as hard. Not that I'm not breathing now, but longer distance now, but it's more, at times it's more about what am I going to see along the way? Am I going to see some animals, new flowers, new plants, new trees? You know, where does this trail go? Different things like that, that before it was just about, okay, let me see if I can finish this hike. So if you're wondering where I am today, I'm at the Whitman Dam. So this is in the town of Dickinson, though I think on the GPS it shows up as Binghamton. And so down below there you see the Brandywine Creek dipping out. And so Whitman Dam behind me now was put in here in 1994 for flood control. I was going to say it's fairly recent, but I just realized 1994 was like 3 decades ago. But a great area here. You probably saw some of where we were walking was a little bit more rocky. You saw some great views of Binghamton in that area there. Part of that area up there, it was a brickyard. And so you probably saw some bricks maybe on the ground. If not, I'll show you some pictures of that. So there's a great little hidden kind of area here. Trails aren't really maintained, but you you really can't get lost. I would recommend though that if you're around here that you're respectful of the local residents. There's no public parking right down here by the dam. I usually park up on county land up by the water towers. On my website I have some pointers to that. So exploring is a little bit what I did today, and show you some things I saw along the way. And there we have a fixer-upper. Pretty view right now. Be better with green up there, but then the leaves would be in the way. And you can kind of make out the water tower over there. That's actually where I often park. So one of the things when you retire is you'll talk to a bunch of people and you'll say, oh yeah, we're gonna have to keep in touch. Yeah, let's do lunch, let's do that. But I found that sometimes takes some effort. You forget about it, they forget about you, out of sight, out of mind. Now I've been fortunate that there have been a lot of good friends that have been active in keeping in touch. Now trying to be more proactive about that, or more deliberate about reaching out to people and say, hey, haven't talked to you in a while, just calling people up or doing lunch, whatever. Now on plus sides, man, have I gotten to explore a lot of places in the area. You know, people asking, well, Bill, have you been flying a lot? Have you been traveling? I'm like, well, I'm exploring, but pretty local. You know, the volunteer work, things of that nature, those are stuff that gives us purpose, which keeps us from falling into that state of, yep, I'm just going to kill some time here. 2 years of retirement and I'm feeling great, no regrets. I did want to think a little bit about making sure that I'm not killing time. And I'm sure you guys will keep me honest on that and won't become a problem. And I hope you're having an awesome day. In fact, turn off YouTube after this, go do something fun, go do some random act of kindness. Come back and drop in the comment. I'd love to hear what you're doing. Take care and have a great day, my friends. Bye now.